There had always been a spark within Eli, a glowing ember that refused to go out. Sometimes it would ignite, but it wasn't until that certain night in the woods, in the glow of a bonfire, where he truly understood the nature of this inner fire. In his town, they would soon gather for the annual Festival of Flames, a celebration of the community's passion, history, and creative spirit. Fires were lit all around the village, filling the air with the scent of smoke and the warmth of glowing embers. The grand central fire was the heart of it all, a pillar of flame that twisted and roared like a living beast. Eli had been chosen to lead the performance that would close the festival. It was a great honor and a great responsibility. He sat near the fire that night, watching the flames dance wildly, each flicker unpredictable yet deliberate. How can I capture something so wild, so fierce, and so free? The flames flickered as if in response. The air grew thick, and from the heart of the flames a figure emerged, rising from the fire itself. A towering being made of molten flame and growing embers. His body shimmered like lava, and his eyes burned brighter than the sun. This was no mere vision. "Why do you stare at the flames, little one?" the spirit of fire asked, his voice crackling like wood splitting apart. "I want to understand them," Eli replied, his voice steady despite the overwhelming presence before him. "I want to ignite this power in my community." "Ignite," the spirit of fire said with roaring laughter. "Nothing ignites without sacrifice." He stepped closer, his presence so intense that Eli felt a bead of sweat from his brow. "You must surrender appropriate offerings to me." The fire spirit turned into visions that appeared in the flames. Eli saw how ancient ancestors gathered around sacrificial pyres, flames consuming offerings of blood, tools, and even cherished possessions and animals. They watched with reverence as the smoke rose to the heavens, carrying their prayers with it. He saw blacksmiths in their forges, hammering molten metal into swords. Each strike of the hammer was a declaration of willpower. It required patience, skill, and the ability to withstand the heat. Everything that is forged must first pass through the fire. Metal, clay, and even the human spirit. He saw scenes of people walking through fire, stepping over burning coals as an act of faith and courage. Some stumbled, but others walked with grace. "Do you see?" said the spirit. "Fire is transformation. I take what is crude and turn it into passion and light. But know this, child," his gaze burned with intensity. "To grow, you must be willing to let go of the old." "What are you willing to sacrifice, little one?" "I will sacrifice my childhood," Eli said. The spirit rose to his full height, flames swirling around him. He was pleased with Eli's offering. "This is the gesture of fire." He thrust his arm upward with force, his palm open and fingers spread wide, like a flame leaping into the air. It is the call to rise, to lead, to transform. It is not a timid motion, it is a declaration. As Eli imitated the spirit, he felt a surge of warmth in his chest. It wasn't just physical warmth, it was willpower manifest. His heart pounded and his breath came faster. It was as if he had awakened something inside of himself. "Do you feel it?" asked the spirit, watching him closely. "Yes," Eli replied, holding the gesture. "It feels like I'm unstoppable." "Good," said the spirit with a grin. "This is the essence of fire. When your fear or laziness creeps in, raise this sign and remember what it means to burn with purpose." The flames around the spirit began to shift and swirl as he returned to the bonfire. His molten eyes flickered with pride. Remember that fire is not just about rising. The flame that burns too hot will consume everything. And the flame that is tended with care will cook your foods and warm your home. The spirit raised his hand one final time, palm open, fingers splayed like dancing flames. Then he disappeared into the heart of the fireplace, becoming one with the embers. Eli kept watching till the spirit was gone. The night of the festival arrived. Eli stood with his dancers and drummers. He could hear the crowd gathering outside. He took a deep breath. "It's time," he said to his gang. "Remember, when it's time for fire, don't just move. Ignite." The music began, low and steady like an ember. The dancers moved with grace and precision. But as the music built in intensity, Eli gave the signal. "Fire!" he shouted. Dancers thrust their arms upward in unison. Their fingers splayed white-like flames. Drummers played with ferocity, rhythms wild and bold. Each leap and spin filled with intensity and passion. The crowd gasped as they felt it. The spirit of fire itself had entered the people. Flames roared higher, illuminating the people like silhouettes against the light. The crowd began raising their arms in the fire gesture, mirroring Eli. The whole square felt like it was burning, not in destruction, but in transformation. After that night, Eli began holding rituals of sacrifice on the new moons. "We have to let go of the old to make space for the new," he would say. Fire was a path to transformation. Let's light this fire to overcome our fears and ignite our passions. At each ritual, he taught the fire gesture. This motion was more than a symbol. It was an embodiment of will, courage, and leadership, within and without. Sometimes the fire spirit would rise from the flames in the ceremony and dance with passion. And in the quiet moments after the rituals, Eli would often be meditating with the spirit as he flickered before him. They would whisper to one another, "Oh, I love to watch you burn."